Good day, everyone. So for today, we are going to discuss our last topic for the midterm for Linguistics 1, which is just a continuation of your phonetics. So for today, we are going to discuss phonetic transcription. So last meeting, we were already done with discussing your orthography, which was the first part of your phonetics. So orthography was or refers to your spelling system of a language, or simply the spelling of different words in a language. So we begin our discussion with the International Phonetic Alphabet. So the International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA, in 1988 was invented in order to have a system in which there was a one-to-one correspondence between each sound in language and each phonetic symbol. So one aim of the IPA, or the International Phonetic Alphabet, was to provide a unique symbol for each distinctive sound in a language. That is, every sound or phoneme that serves to distinguish one word from another. So the significance of your IPA, in other words, is to enable you to differentiate or somehow tell the difference between the sound of each letter, for example, or each sound in a certain language like English. Kumbaga. So in order to make reading or pronouncing words, for example, easier, so we make use of your IPA. So usually you see your IPA transcriptions in your dictionaries. Like when you are searching for a word, next to the word that you looked up or you searched for, there is an IPA transcription which would help you to find out how the word or how that certain word is pronounced. So today we are going to learn about how to transcribe those different IPA symbols. So first, we start off with your vowel sounds. So we have here your short I and your short I and your long I na sounds. So this first, or to note, kumbaga, if naka-slash or if your letters are enclosed in slash, that means you have to sound it out. So for example, for the first one, we have here what you call as your barred I or your short I na sound. So short I na sound because it sounded out as your E. Short I or barred I, as you can see, because it is written like your capital I, kumbaga. So barred I or short I sound because when you sound it out, E stop na agad. So it's not long or prolonged. Short I lang siya. So this sound is most commonly represented by your letter I, but also could be produced with the help of your letters Y, U, or O. So again, this is the short I or the barred I that we call na sound. So E. E as in your fit. E as in your pick, bit, and lift. So as you can see here on the right side of each word, we have here yung naka-slashes, kumbaga. So this is what we call as your IPA na transcription. Sorry. So for the first word, for example, we have your fit. So we have there the sound, or your how do we sound out your letter F. So we have your F to represent that. And then, as we said, in the word fit, since we pronounce or we sound out the letter I in the word fit, as short lang, hindi man siya fit ang pag-pronounce tas ang word nga niya. So we pronounce it as your fit. Stop agad ang E na sound. E, fit. So we use your barred I to represent that in IPA transcription. And of course, the sound of your T is ta. So remain lang, same lang naman ang representation of your F and T when it comes to sound. Ito lang yung nag-iba. So you use your barred I if short I lang na sound. So E in fit. So next, we also have your pick. So you have here same lang, short I sound, E. So you have your sound of pa, and then your short I, E. And then your CK, when you combine them, as we have discussed in your orthography in the last lesson. So if you combine C and K, they produce the sound K. So it is represented by your letter K. So pick. Though the same is true with the following words such as bit and your left. So you have to be careful, or you really have to analyze how a word is pronounced before you transcribe it. First, just like your fit. So short I siya because it's your short I lang siya, so fit. But if you say feet, long I na siya, hindi na siya sang short I or hindi na barred I ang gamiton nga symbol. If ganun na, if long na ang sound ng E, hindi lang siya sang E but E ang pag-pronounce, we make use of your dotted I or long I na sound. So if your short I or your barred I is only short lang na E, as in fit, thick, bit, and lift, your dotted I or your long I na sound is represented in your double E, which makes the sound E, but quite often also by EA, your single E, and final Y na letter Y in other words. So for example, pag feet, week, he, she, and fleece, so longer na ang, if you listen, longer na ang E na sound. So you use your dotted I and not the barred I. So there's the difference. So if you want to spell out, or if ang ginamin mo na word is ito, fit, barred I, but if you are going to say it's feet, you transcribe it this way. So same, for example, with your week na your Monday, Tuesday until Sunday. So wa, and then your E, hindi man siya week. It's week. So mas longer ang sound or mas prolonged, you make use of your dotted I and then your k na sound. So same with your pronouns, like your he and your she. So we prolong the E sound. So that's why in slashes, so don't forget, if nag-transcribe ka using IPA, you have to make use of your slashes. So for example, ha na sound, and then of course, long E, he. So hindi ni siya high, since naka-slash man siya. Pag naka-slash, ang meaning sining a letter I, the small I there represents your long I sound. E, he. Same with your she. So later you will also learn about the symbol. But then in she, the E there, or letter E, is transcribed using your dotted I. So next, you also have the following letters. So we have here your three sounds, your a, your e, and your e. Your a, your e, and your e sound. So first, we have here your a. So this is represented a na sound. So this vowel is the closest one to the sound of the letter A in many other languages. So for example, when we were first learning about letters or the letters of the alphabet, so when you sound out the letter A, so for example, A as in apple. So kumbaga A, so medyo oblong ang shape sang mouth when you are producing this sound. So quite the closest sound to your letter A. So A. So ang imong ba is medyo oblong siya. So you have to form it this way in order to sound out your letter A. So this kind of sound of your letter A. So it is written using your small letter na A. So for example, in the word car, father, and bra, so you have here your letter A. This letter A here makes the sound A. Car. Same with your father. The letter A here, father, A. And bra, that still makes use of your a sound. So if you are going to present that sound in IPA transcription, you make use of this one. So again, the letter C is represented by k in IPA transcriptions. And so when you make the sound of your letter C, your letter K, still it is spelled as your letter K in IPA transcription. So k, a, r, car. Father. So you have your letter F, A, and then letter TH for later. I will show you also later how or what these symbols stand for. But let's focus first here. Kumbaga, so in the word father, your A sound here is or makes use of this sound. A, father. Or for example, the A in the word bra. So A, bra. Next, we have this sound. So the symbol for the e. So for example, for your e sound, it's like making or reading this for a moment. It's like this one, e. So it is written using this symbol. It's like an inverted number 3. So e sound. So this vowel is the closest one to the sound of the letter E in most other languages. So for example, when we teach learners or when we were taught back when we were smaller about your letter E, so E, for example, letter E as in elephant, letter E as in egg. So that is the sound of this symbol, E. So for example, we have here the following words that makes use of the letter E here represents the or makes the E sound, like in get, bed, and set. So if you listen, ang sound, if ang sound niya, if you listen or if you hear words, kumbaga when you transcribe them later on, you make use of this symbol. In get, so in get, bed, pa rin, and then set, eh. So you have there your inverted number 3, like your inverted number 3 ang pagsulat sang na sound. Okay, next we have your digraph. So this symbol, so I'll also post later on or together with this lesson material on how to write this symbol. So among all English vowels, this is the greatest problem for most learner or the sound, your na sound. So this is like a combination of your and your and your e. So it's hard for us, like for the Filipino language, since we do not have this sound in our, or in, we do not have this sound in the Filipino language. So sometimes it's hard for us to make this sound as well. So for example, in words like cat, so usually kasi for us in our younger years, perhaps we only pronounce it as cat. So it's cat, fat, bad, sad. So buka gid ang ba in order to make this sound. So ang dila, syempre, ara sa dalom gid siya sa mouth, kumbaga, or in front of your mouth. So you open your mouth in order to produce the sound. Cat, fat, bad, and sad. So do not confuse your sound with your e. So that's different ang sa e sound. So cat, so you transcribe this one, or you transcribe rather the word cat in this way. So cat, k, and then your sound and your t. Same with your fat, bad, sad. Ano pa dyan ng mga word? For example, Batman. So man, for example, your end, your conjunction end makes use also of your digraph. So for example, this symbol and then your ND when you are going to transcribe your IPA transcription for the word end. Okay, that's it. So next, we also have the sounds, these two sounds. So actually, they make the same sound. Ito na symbols, your schwa and your inverted na V. Merong slight difference lang between the two on when we use them. But they produce the same na sound. So our professor back in college used to teach us pa na in order to produce your or your itong schwa, for example. So kung hindi makaproduce ng schwa, so sumbagon lang daw sa sulok-sulok in order to produce your sound. So that was his joking way of teaching us about the sound of this two symbols. So they produce the same sound. So if they produce the same sound, na sound, kumbaga, so what is the difference? Bakit dalawa talaga ang symbol for the same sound? So let's find out what is the difference or when do we use the two separate sound or symbols rather. So your schwa, so this is called your schwa. For a moment. So this symbol is called your schwa na sound. So this makes your na sound. So used in the dictionary to show the most common weak vowel in English, which is pronounced as a relaxed So you can see there, as I have read. So this symbol, your schwa, makes the sound. Now the difference is, for example, in the word sofa. So in the word sofa, so we only, or if, for example, if there are words na ang sound is this is the symbol that you use. So now, question is, perhaps ma'am, you said that these two symbols make the same sound. So when do we use this? When do we use this? So first we have your schwa. We use your schwa in for your unstressed na syllables. So your stressed and unstressed syllables, di ba? For example, in the word sofa. So your stressed syllables there, for example, so we have sofa, there are how many syllables in sofa? Sofa. So two. For a moment. So we have two syllables in the word sofa. But then what is the stress, or in what syllable do we stress? Kumbaga. So stress, kumbaga naga butang ta emphasis or diin nagasaka ang boses ta when we pronounce sofa. How do we pronounce this word? Sofa or sofa. So it's sofa. So the stress there is on the first syllable. So pag nakakapitalize, for example, ibig sabihin, dyan tayo or dyan yung stressed syllable or yung emphasis. Sofa. Kumbaga. So that's why if unstressed or sa unstressed na syllable na fall ang na sound, we use your schwa. Sofa. Since we don't say sofa, it's sofa. So you use your, so in fa, there's an sound and unstressed siya. Since we said that unstressed ang fa na syllable and it makes, your A here makes the sound and unstressed, we use your schwa. So that means the inverted V or the next sound or symbol that we have, so this is used for stressed na sound. Pag na-fall siya sa stressed syllable and then it makes the na sound or the word has the sound, you make use of your inverted V. So sa schwa muna, for example, we have another word. So in the word above, so we also have two syllables. So above. So in the word above, how do we pronounce it? Above or above. So it's above. The stress is still on, or the stress is on the second syllable rather. So in the word above, we have here your two letters, your A and your O, they both produce the na sound. But then the difference, one sound falls on the unstressed syllable, another falls on the stressed syllable. So again, we say, what did we say, or what did I say? If the sound falls on your unstressed syllable, you make use of your schwa. Next, so solve na ta dira sa schwa. Unstressed syllable siya since we pronounce it as above, hindi above. So above. So unstressed ang So then we have your bov. In the word bov, or in the syllable rather, bov in above. So stressed, we have there your letter O. It produces the sound pa rin, but it is stressed. Or we put emphasis in the syllable bov when we pronounce the word. So your O there, na sound, you make use of your inverted V, which is for stressed na sound. Or if the sound falls on the stressed syllable. So next, we also have your blood. So blood, one syllable lang, and it is, hindi man blood, syagit-kagid. So it's blood. Unstressed ang syllable. One syllable only, and it's unstressed. So that's why your double O here makes your sound in blood. So we use your schwa. So next, as I have said already, your inverted V still has the sound, but then ito yung ginagamit na symbol if the sound falls on your stressed na syllable. Okay, so for example, we have the following words: under, stutter, above. So we are already done with transcribing or explaining your above. So we have your other words to compare. So under. So in the word under, you have there two syllables. So under. Un and der. So our stressed syllable in under is on the first syllable, as you can see. Under, hindi man under. So it's under. Sorry. So since na-fall ang na sound dito sa stressed or in the first syllable, since this is the stressed syllable as well, so under. So here makes use of your letter U rather makes use of or produces the sound. So we make use of the inverted V because it's under the stressed syllable and the sound produced is a. And then in der na syllable, still letter E produces the a sound. But the E here is or falls under the unstressed syllable. That is why we make use of your schwa and not the inverted V. Same with stutter. So stutter, you have two syllables as well in stutter. So our stressed syllable is in stutter. Hindi man stutter. So it's stutter. So that's why we make use of your inverted V and schwa for your letter E here in the ter na syllable. Okay, let me clear the drawings first before proceeding to the next. So we also have what we call as your open O and your closed O na sound for your vowels. So it is usually represented by your AW, AL, or your AU. So this is called as your open O. So this is the symbol for the open O sound. So this is how do we produce your open O sound? O. So nagka-circle gid ang baba mo. Kung kanina, yung small letter A, so if this one makes your A, your open O makes your O. So ito, sa A, for example, or this sound, A, naga-oblong, A, your open O makes your O. Nagabilog siya. So you could differentiate between the two. So it is usually represented by your letters or combinations na A, W, your AL, or your AU, O sound. So this is written like an inverted naman na letter C, na small letter C, open O. So it's called open O because as you can see, hindi siya fully closed na O. So for example, in the following words, saw, dawn, straw. So it makes the O sound na nagabilog gid or naga-O shape gid ang imo nga mouth when you produce the sound for the open O. Saw, dawn, straw. So when you transcribe that, so same letter or for a letter S, same symbol, and then your AW here makes your O sound. So you only put or you make use of your open O sound to produce the sound for AW. So, hindi man saw ang pagbasa sa ni. So, same with your dawn. So, the, and then O, and then your N sound here. So, we only have 3 characters for its IPA transcription. Same with straw. So, S, and then for your letter T, R, your, and then your AW, O. Straw, dawn, saw, draw. Ano pa dira nga words. So you make use or you write your O sound with this open O na symbol. Next, we have your closed O naman. So your closed O sound, so bilogid siya, it's really the small letter O na pag sulat sa kanya or yung symbol niya. So the type of vowel sound used in some spoken languages. So if your open O is sounded out as your O, your closed O naman is sounded out the way that U, ang sound ng open O is just the same way kung paano kita maghambal sang letter na to. O, yun talaga yung sound niya. How you say this letter, O. Yun din ang sound ng symbol of closed O. O. So for example, in the word boat, so you have there your B, your O, and your T. So that is how you transcribe it. Since in boat, ang O and your letter O and your letter A produces the O sound. So you transcribe it as B, O, and T. Boat. Same with low. So L, and then your OW uses or produces your O sound. That's why we transcribe it with just your L and then the symbol for open O, the small letter O, for this word, low. Same with go. So for go, same lang ang transcription actually since this, so your letter G, G, and then your letter O makes the O sound, go. So same lang since your O here makes the O sound, so closed O as well. So for example, same with your, let's say, the word do. So for the word do, your OUGH there makes the O sound. So we transcribe it as your, so we have your letter D. When you transcribe it, still the, and then for the OUGH, it makes the O or the open O, or the closed O rather, sorry, closed O sound. So we write it as this one. So when you read it, it's not duff, it's do. So closed O stands or produces the O sound. So next, we also have here your short U and your long U sound. So this is what we call as your short U sound. So the sound most similar to the sound of U in many other languages. So your short U sound is somehow similar lang on how we sound out your barred I and your dotted I. So your short U sound, we produce it with your U. Stop agad. So for example, in the word put, good, could. So that's how we use or how we produce your short U sound or your U. So put, hindi man put, hindi man good, hindi man could. So put, good, could. So that is how we transcribe this one. For example, these words in IPA transcription naman. So the sound pa is still spelled out using the letter P. Your U, since short sound lang naman na U or short U sound. So that is the symbol. We make use of this one, put. And then your T here, your letter T, still sounded out, or the symbol for your T sound is still letter T. And we also have your other examples, your good. So good, your G sound. And then your double O here makes use of your, or produces your short U sound, U. So you write the symbol, and then for the D, the, good. So same also with your could. So letter C, although letter C siya, it still produces your K. For the K na sound, we use the letter K. So your OU here, your OU produces your U, short U sound. So we put the symbol or we use the symbol. So wala tagi transcribe ang L since, as we said we discussed in our orthography na lesson in phonetics last meeting, in some words, although nandyan yung letter, hindi siya gina-pronounce. So your L, hindi man ta cold, it's could. So silent L, wala na naton siya transcribe kay when we pronounce the word could, wala taman gina-pronounce ang L na sound. So diretso ta sa letter D or the sound. So letter D here as well. Same lang ang symbol for the sound. So could. So we also have your long U sound. So your long U sound is symbolized by your small letter U. So long U sound in English is most commonly denoted by your EW and your double O na sound. So if ang short U is U, Your long U sound naman is U. Mas ano lang siya, mas prolonged or mas dugay ang pag-pronounce. Such as in your words, who, you, cool. So mas prolonged ang U nga sound. Hindi man siya sang who, you, cool. So it's longer. Ang pag-sound out mo or gina-drag out mo ang sound sang U nga sound. Who, you, cool. So this is the transcription for these following words. So your WH, although it's W and your H, but then we only produce the H sound. So that's why we write your letter H. And then for your letter O here, it produces the long U sound. That's why we use the symbol, the small letter U. Later, I will also show you why this is the symbol rather for the Y sound. So we use your letter J in IPA transcription to symbolize the Y sound or the sound of the letter Y in U or the sound na Y. So if you transcribe or if you hear the sound Y in words, Oriana Grande yarn, so you write it using your letter J in IPA transcription. And your OU here in U, your U sound, since it's a long U sound, you write it using your long U sound, which is the small letter U. Same with your cool. So as again, letter C produces the K sound in this word. So letter K. And then your double O produces the long U sound, cool. So we use the long U sound or the small letter U, and then for letter L, L. So that's the same symbol for IPA transcription. So that is for vowel sounds. Next, for consonant sounds naman. So we get this out of the way. So these consonants that we have here in this slide have symbols that are identical with their letters used in spelling. So for example, the sound of B, ba, still written in IPA transcription using the same word. Same with your D, F, G, H. Sa K, so diba, for example, if the sound of K, K, so you write it using your letter K. Same with your C, for example, in cool, letter C there, the sound produced by letter C is still K, so you write it using your K. CK as well in sick, for example, it's still, your CK still produces the K sound, so still K. So for the rest of the letters as well, same lang. For Z, Z, for W, W, for example, V, T, S, R, P, N, M. So the following slides that we have here are just mga consonant sounds which are written differently. So for example, we have this symbol for the sound. So for this sound, or how do we produce this sound or the symbol? So in Filipino pa, this is your, so in Filipino language, for example, we have this sound, your ng sound. For example, in the word, in the Filipino word, sorry. For example, in the Filipino word, ginang, the ng here or your ng sound, this is what it symbolizes, or this is how it is written in IPA. So your ng sound or your ng, kumbaga, is produced na ng sound. This is how it is written in IPA transcription. So this sound is produced as if you wanted to say n, but you wanted to say but with the back of your tongue, the part with which you say g. So ng sound, kumbaga. So for example, as I have said, in ginang, the ng sound there or the ng, kumbaga, is written this way in IPA transcription. So it's like writing n, but then nag-curve ka, kumbaga. So you write it that way. For example, sorry, hindi ko makontrol ang ano dito. Parang ganyan. So that's how you write the symbol for the ng sound. So for example, in words like your bring, so your ng sound in bring, you have there the last sound that we produce in bring. Sang, ng, long, there. So this is how we transcribe or how we write the IPA transcription for this following words. So b, same lang, sound. So in bring, short long I sound ba or short I sound? So bring, hindi man bring. So it's only bring. Short lang, hindi gina-prolong. So we use your barred I. And for your NG, we use the symbol to symbolize your sound in bring. So that is the IPA transcription for bring. Next, we have your sang. So for sang, we have your sound, and then we have your digraph, eh. So we have this one. And then your ng sound, we have your symbol for the ng sound. Same with long. So for long, l, your open o, and your ng sound, this is how we write your ng sound. Again, long, sang, bring. Next, we have your sounds of your TH. So we have your theta, the soft TH, and your hard TH na sound. So voiceless, dental, sibilant, fricative. So for this one, we call this your theta or your soft TH. So it's just like, or it's represented usually by these letters, your th. So it's like pronouncing T or sounding out the sound of your letter T, pero may arapasang H na sound. Th. Sorry. Th. So soft lang siya. So it's produced, or for example, the th na sound is symbolized or to symbolize, or when you transcribe words with the th sound, you use your theta. For example, in words like thigh, think, both. So you have there your thigh. So for example, in the word thigh, T, TH there, th. So we write it out using this symbol. So later, I na sound, we will also learn about that one in your diphthongs. So let's focus first on your soft theta or your th na sound in think. So th sound, theta, think, still short I. So we make use of your barred I, hindi man think. It's think, kumbaga. So we only use your barred I, and then your N here, although N, it's spelled out as N only. When you read the word THINK, think, it still produces your ng sound before ka mag-k. Think. So we write your symbol for the ng sound, and lastly for the K, k. Think. So this is the IPA transcription for the word think. So we also have the word both. So we have here the sound of letter B, B. So your O here produces the O sound as well. That's why we used your closed O. And your TH here, hindi man siya bot. So hindi siya sang T ang aton nga pag-transcribe ha, because that's a different word. Sorry. So if you only use your, let me erase first. Sa keyboard na lang, no? Do kalaing gid ang agi ko diri sa drawing. Okay. For example, you mean to say bot as in robot, kumbaga. So bot is different from both. Both rather, sorry. Both is different from your boat. So for example, lain pod ang bot, diba? So maybe if you use or if you transcribe it as your, okay, sorry, this is wrong. So for example, both, this is how you transcribe your word na both, pareha, diba? Both. So your TH there, if you listen, both is different from your both na at etong transcription na to. If ganyan yung transcription mo, ito na transcription, you mean to say both. So both is different from both. So may H pa na sound ang both along with your T. So soft TH, teta. But if you mean to say both, na yung sinasakyan na vehicle in bodies in traveling from one place to another, especially in water, both, this is the transcription for that. So both is different from both. So lain ang ta na sound sa tha na may TH, na soft TH. Tha. Okay, so let's clear that. So that is for soft TH or your th na sound. So it's like you're pronouncing or sounding out your letter T pero may H pa nakasama. Th. Soft TH. Next, your letter, or next for your TH na sound pa rin. So this is your hard TH. So kanina, your theta is your soft TH. Ito naman, hard TH. So why do we call this your hard TH? So the voice dental fricative is a consonant sound used in some spoken languages. So if your theta is sounded out as your th, na soft gid siya, so your hard TH naman is like you are pronouncing, or usually this is represented by these letters. Your DTH, your the. So it's like you're sounding out your letter D, pero may H pa siya na pahabol at the last part. Your the. That's why. So the difference, the and your the in your soft TH. So hard TH, the. Soft TH, the. For example, in the words father. So hindi man siya father. Diba? So if you use your soft TH, hindi siya amo nga word ang ginamin mo. So we spell father with your hard TH na symbol. Father. So we have there also your schwa because this is unstressed. So father. The stress is on fa. So you have here your F and then your a sound, your hard TH in the, in father, your schwa and your na sound. Same with your there. So we spell there, hindi man siya sang there. Kung soft TH siya, hindi there, hindi amo niyang ginamin mo nga word. If you transcribe it using your soft TH or your theta instead of hard TH na symbol, you read it as there. But if you use your hard TH na symbol, there. Yan ang ginamin mo na word. Same with your breathe. So we have your ba, your sound, and your EA here produces your long E sound or your dotted I. That's why we used your dotted I na symbol. Breathe. And your THE, in THE, we only sound out yung TH, hindi man breathe. So we only say breathe. So we sound out or reproduce the TH sound as your the, breathe. So we have here, that's why we make use of your hard TH na symbol for your IPA transcription of the word breathe. Next, we have this sound. So this is the letter J usually, or if you remove the slashes, this is the letter J. But since it is in slashes, this is the Y sound. So it represents what is usually written as Y in English or your alphabet in English at the beginning of a syllable. So if you are referring to the Y as in letter Y, na sound ng letter Y in English alphabet, you make use of this symbol for the Y sound. So it's written using your letter J. As in you, yellow, and yes. So for example, your Y sound, J, and then your OU here makes use of your long U sound. That's why we make use of the small letter U, which represents the long U sound. U, yellow. In yellow, Y sound, letter you have here, the transcription for the Y. Next, we have your yellow, eh. And then your double L, we only use one L or your L sound. Since although double L siya, yellow, L lang man gapon ang produce niya na sound, although it's double. And of course, for your OW, it produces the O or closed O sound. That's why we make use of your closed O, the symbol. So the word yellow is transcribed as this one. So next, we also have yes. So again, ya symbol. This is how we write or we transcribe the ya na sound rather for the letter Y in IPA transcription. Ya. Symbol for your sound of your letter Y. Ya. And then your in yes. We have your inverted number 3. And of course, for the sound of your letter S, still we make use of the same symbol. Okay, so we also have this sounds. So first, this one. So this is like writing your letter F, but without the line in the middle. So for this sound, this is actually produced or you encounter this sound when you read the letters or you combine the letters S and H. It produces the sh sound. So this is the symbol that you use if you hear the sh sound or you are transcribing the sh sound in IPA. So the sh sound from the consonant pairs group and is called the voiceless. So this sound produces again when you encounter the word or this letters, combination of letters na sh. Okay, so for example, in words like she, crash, and shoe. So this is for the sh sounds there in those following words like in she, in crash, and shoe. This is how you represent your sh sound in IPA using this one. For example, in the pronoun she, we already encountered this kanina for your dotted I na sound. So she, we have two sounds there, your sh and your e. So for the sh sound, this is how you write it. For the long e sound, you use the symbol for the long or for the dotted I, which is the small letter I, for crash. So your C here produces the k sound. R for your letter R. For a, you have there crash, digraph, and then for your sh sound, you have this symbol. Same with your shoe. So your SH in shoe produces the sh sound. That's why we make use of the symbol. And then your OE in shoe makes use of your long U sound. Shoe. That's why we make use of your small letter U, which is the symbol for the long U sound. So next, we also have this sound. So it's like your sh na sound kanina, but we have your letter T. Now, when that happens, or when we have this symbol, the sound there is actually produced using these letters. So your CH, which produces your ch na sound. So if you hear a word that produces your ch sound, this is the symbol that you use. Same with your sh na symbol kanina, but with letter T. So pag ganyan ang symbol, meaning ang sound niya is your ch na sound. Ch is an unvoiced consonant. So sh is different from ch. For example, in the words catch, check, and cheese. So you have there. So this is how we transcribe the following words. Catch, so your k, your digraph e, and your ch, your tch there produces your ch sound. That's why or hence we have this one. So k, e, and your ch sound. Catch. Next we have your check, ch na sound. So that's the symbol for that one, letter T, and the sh na symbol. It produces, again, pagintupad na sila ang T before this one, ch ang sound. And you're in check, your letter E here produces the E sound. And lastly, your CK in check produces the K sound. Same with your cheese. So for example, in the word cheese, your CH produces the ch sound. Hence, we use this symbol. And then in cheese, prolonged ang sound ng E. So that's why we make use of your dotted I and your S here. Although it's letter S, when we hear the word or when we pronounce the word cheese or this word, your S is pronounced with your Z na sound. That's why we use your letter Z. Z. Cheese. So wala na ang E because silent man siya, hindi man cheese. Kumbaga. So cheese for cheese. Check. This is the transcription. Catch. This is the IPA transcription. So we also have here these two sounds. So first we have here this symbol. So this sound is a softer version of your Z. So softer version of your Z sound is J. J. That is the sound of this symbol. J. So it's written as well na ganito. No, parang cursive siya na letter. Sorry, ano ba to? It's written like a cursive na letter Z. Or a variation on how other people write your letter Z, kumbaga. So if you use the symbol again, its sound is J. J. Softer version daw of your Z sound. J. J. As in genre, version, measure. So you have there genre. So hindi ni genre ha ang pag-pronounce. So genre. What is your favorite music genre? Your favorite genre in watching movies, for example. So genre or category. So we transcribe genre this way. For your J sound, your G here makes your J sound. So that's why we make use of the symbol. Your E here, your A, genre, and your N stays the same. Sound with your R, and genre. Your E here produces the schwa sound or the sound pero unstressed. Since when we say genre, hindi man genre, diba? It's genre. So the stress is on the first syllable in Jean. That's why we make use of schwa and not the inverted V. Same with version. So that is for version. That's why we make use of your inverted V na version. Hindi man version. So we have there the IPA symbol for that as well. Next, we also have measure. So for measure, your S here, your letter S, produces the J na sound. Measure. So in measure. So your E and A produces the E, J. And then again, schwa, measure. Measure. Hindi man measure. So the stress is on the first syllable in measure. So again, we use the schwa and your sounds in silent man ang E. So measure, genre, version. So next one, if this is sounded out as your J or the softer version of your Z or Z sound, J in genre, this one, pag may D na, you just add D as well to J. So it's J. It's pronounced or the sound of this one or of this symbol is your J. So this is usually made when we use or when we sound out the sound of the letter J. So J. So this is how you usually, for example, in some words when we use the letter J, this is, or when we use the letter J, the sound it makes is signified or symbolized by this symbol in IPA transcription, J. So jab. So for example, jab. So for example, if nagpa-inject na, nagpa-vaccine, so again, a disclaimer, short advertisement. So if you have any means or if you get the chance or you are presented with the chance or opportunity to get vaccinated, do get vaccinated. So if not for yourself, for the others, especially those who are compromised ang health. So back to our lesson. So for example, J and jab. So for example, I received my second jab of the COVID-19 vaccine already. So jab or jab na sumpag. So that is what we mean here, jab. So J, your letter J here makes the J sound. That's why we made use of this symbol. So you have there And then your letter A makes your sound. That's why we made use of your digraph. And then for your letter B, your B sound is still presented or represented by the letter B. Next, you have your jet. So your J, letter J again makes your J sound. Your E makes the sound. And of course, your T, ano pa abi nga sound ang ibrahon sa T? So, T. So we have there the same letter. So page as well, your letter G here makes the J na sound. So P, and then later, your letter A makes the A sound. So we will also discuss this in the next slide, yung bakit ganito, yung sound for your A, or bakit ganito ang symbol. And then your G here, your letter G in page makes use or produces the J sound. That's why we have this one. Okay. So lastly, we have your diphthongs. So we have here your diphthongs, your I, your ow, your A, your oi, and your U. Okay. So this diphthong is informally called your long I. Sorry. So your long I, and a bit more formally, the long sound of the letter I. So for diphthongs, this is a combination of two vowel sounds, diba? Usually in your diphthongs. So for example, for this sound, as you can see, this is like a combination of your small letter A or your na sound and your barred I. So what sound does this produce? So the sound it produces is is the same sound when we say the letter I. It produces the I sound. I ang sound niya. And a bit more formally, the long sound of the letter I. So when you say, for example, when you say this letter, that is the sound of this symbol as well. I. The AY. I. Amo na ang sound niya. So if you hear words na nag-produce ng I, for example, so this is how you would transcribe that sound. For example, in the word fly, we have there your sound of, for this one, so you have the sound of F, the sound of L, and Y here makes the I sound. Hindi man fly man. That's why we make use of this symbol, fly. Same with time. So ta, and your letter I here, when we pronounce this word, your letter I produces the I sound. Time. Hindi man time or hindi man tim. So time. That's why we make use of this one to know na okay, this is read as time. Kaya mo ni ang iyang transcription. And lastly, your M, since silent man ang E. Next with your price. So if you mean the word price with a C, so you have there your P, your R, your sound. Your I here still makes your I sound. And your C here makes the sound. Price, presyo. So mag-change lang siya if ang ginamin mo naman na word is price na premyo. So if ang ginamin mo na word is price na premyo, this is how this is where it differs lang. So same lang na P, R, and then and your C. Okay. So this is how you transcribe your price na presyo. That is the transcription. If you mean price na premyo, this is the transcription. So if you hear a word or if you are asked to transcribe a word na mayroong I na sound like your fly, time, and price, that is how you represent it in IPA transcription. Next, we have your ow naman na sound. So A plus your short U sound produces your ow na sound. It's like a bark of a dog. So ow. Yan ang sound nitong symbol na to. Sorry. So the IPA phonetic symbol ow corresponds to the vowel sound in the words mouth. For example, your OU in mouth your OW in how and OU in out, they produce the ow sound. So when you transcribe them, yung OU, you make use of your ganitong diphthong na symbol. Ow. Yan. For example, in words like house, now, and out, kumbaga, so out. So you have there in house, your h sound, and then you have your OU here produces ow na sound, and your S for your S, and E again is silent. House. So this is the IPA transcription for the word house, meaning balay or a place where you live in. Now. So now, this is how you transcribe now. Your OW, hindi man O, na closed O ang pagbasa sa sini. So we use this one because the sound it makes when we read this word is ow. Now. That's why we make this symbol. Next, we have your out. So in the word out, your O and U makes your ow sound. So ow is your O and U. Sorry, kalain gid ang agin yung ma'am diri sa drawing diri. Pabudlayan ko gid ang self ko. So the T here is of course stands for your T sound in out. Okay. Next, you have your next diphthong na sound. So when we combine your small letter E with your barred I, this produces your A. So the sound of this symbol is produced when the same sound, ang sound niya kumbaga is when you read this letter A. So this diphthong is informally called long A or the long sound of the letter A. So when you read this letter, that is the sound of this symbol, A. For example, in the words face, cake, play. So this is how you would transcribe these words using the IPA symbols. So we have your face. So of course, you have your sound. Your A here, face, it produces your A na sound as well. Sound ang ginamin ko ha. So since in the word face, letter A produces the A sound, we use this symbol, yung diphthong nyo, which produces the A sound. And of course, your C here, kay silent man ang E, sound in face, mukha. Next, you have your cake, your K, and your letter C and your letter K produces the same sound, K, so that's why. And your A here your letter A still produces your A sound, cake. Next, same with your word play, P, L, and your AY here is not sounded out as I, hindi man play, it's play. So A sound, we use this one. Okay. So this is correct. This is wrong. Kaya when you transcribe it using your I na diphthong, hindi na play ang pagbasa sina kung amo ning transcription mo, it's ply already. So amo na siya ang ang transcription for the word na ply. For example, 2 ply, 3 ply na mask. So ito yung transcription ng word na yan. But if you mean play, this is the transcription, the correct transcription. Okay, I think this is the last diphthong na sound in IPA transcription. So if you combine your open O with your dotted or with your barred I, sorry. So again, when you combine your open O with your barred I, it produces the sound oi, or your oi na sound stands for this. This is what this symbol stands for. If you hear the sound oi in words, this is how you would transcribe them using this symbol. The spelling of this sound is very straightforward. Normally, oi at the end of the syllable and oi in other positions. So for example, words na may oy or words na may oi, ang sound ng words na to or letters na to, when they are used in English, produces the sound of this symbol, oi. For example, boil, boil, soy, and toy. So B for your letter B. Your OI here, boil, it produces boil again. Boil produces the oi sound, and your L produces the L sound. Next with your soy, so you have there your S and OY. When you read them together, it produces the oi sound. So that this is the symbol for the oi sound. So you have your S and your oi. Next, you have your toy, t, and your oi again, OY. This is the symbol. Open O and your barred I. Okay, meron pa palang last. So we have here, as we said, we use this as a symbol for your letter Y, the Y sound of letter Y. So when we combine this with your long U, it produces the sound, or ano ba ang sound ng word ng symbol na to? It's when you say the letter U. U pod ang sound niya. So for example, if you hear words or if you are asked to transcribe words na may U sound, this is the symbol that you use. This one. So since it is very common, this diphthong has the informal name long U, or the less informal description of long sound of the letter U. So ang sound niya, again, ng symbol na to, if a word has the sound U, this is how you would transcribe it using this IPA symbol. For example, in the word you, so your YOU na pronoun could be transcribed just using this diphthong. You, cute. For example, the word cute, you have there, sorry, you have there in the word cute, k na sound. Your letter U here produces the U sound. That's why we have this, or why we use this. And your T here, again, we don't sound out the E. Cute. We also have your few. So few, you only have your two sounds, F and U. So that is how you would transcribe it as well. F and your diphthong U na sound. All right. So that is the end for the IPA transcription symbols. So this is how you write your IPA transcriptions na yung mga diniscuss natin aside from the usual. So hindi ko naging show kung paano magsulat sang B, sang K, sang D, kay balaan nyo naman. So I will also post a video on how to write these different symbols, especially your digraph and your short U, or your hard TH, your theta, your sh na symbol, your ja, and your for example, diphthongs, your I, your oi, your ow, your a. So we have also example transcriptions before we end this discussion. So for example, if your sentence is the cat is in the house. So this could be, or this would be the IPA transcription for this sentence. So you have your the. So the, one syllable lang naman and unstressed. That's why we use your the, your hard TH, and your schwa, your cat. So we transcribe cat this way. So k sound, your digraph, and your t. And is composed of your barred I, because short I sound lang, or short E is. Same with your in. So my s and your n sound, the house. So repeated lang ang da and house. The cat is in the house. So you practice as well before you answer the activity that I will be posting along with this lesson material. So you could practice by transcribing your full name using IPA transcription. So for your activity that I will post after this lesson material, so you only use the IPA transcription symbols that we have discussed in this lesson. So I will also see to it na yung mga symbol na ginamit for the answers are symbols that I discussed here. So I'll know that you did not do the work yourself if yung mga answer nyo may mga colon, kasi that is used if may mga colon na symbol, so we did not discuss that. So only use the symbols that I have discussed in this lesson. So for the deadline of the activity that I will post, so thank you. This is the end of the presentation. For the deadline of the activity, submit the activity on or before the said deadline. So once the deadline has been met, late submissions will not be accepted. So have initiative and be responsible in passing or submitting your activities since you are already college students. So this last lesson will be included in the coverage of the midterm exam as well. So thank you. So this is the end of the presentation. So have a good day, stay safe, guys, and good luck on your exams for the mid.